I mean, I think it is amazing to just see just in the last few months, but like, let's talk about the future a little bit, where, how big can DeFi get? I'm not asking you to share, like, say, Coinbase internal forecasts or whatever, because people have different views, but I guess, how big can these things get?
What I'd say from my perspective is prognostication is so hard in these markets.
Just apply Moore's law and then they'll tell you how big it'll get.
Well,
or more.
I think there's a vision that almost all financial services move on this. This is a TCP IP, like some type of backend layer to move all financial transactions. So to me, the bullish case that I would have for this is that all financial transactions in some way, shape, or form are moving on this. And it sounds crazy, but I think there was a moment when on the internet, there's all these independent things outside the internet, and
Absolutely.
the internet in a lot of ways ate all that. And so I think, to me, that's the bullish case. I think that there's a lot of different things, and we can talk about this in more detail of how we would get there, but that's the bullish case.
Yeah. How about you?
To me, what's calling my attention, and it's something we talk about for a long time, but you never know when these things are going to happen. But it's the programmability aspect, and I think a lot of what's happening in DeFi today has to do with that. Obviously, these credit markets and these decentralized money markets started popping up, but all of a sudden, end users have a variety of those to pick from, and I think this infrastructure allows just for the comparison between all those to become programmable as well, and that's what a lot of people are experimenting with. So I, as an end user, I don't need to be shopping around to see where the best deal is today for my USDC. I can just use a service that has leverage the programmability of all this infrastructure. And I think honestly, that's just scratching the surface. I think we only saw the first few use cases of what can be done, but that's again only for credit markets, and we haven't seen anything around payments. I mean, we see some people doing a little bit of that with commerce, and how you can now have like atomic commerce transactions, which typically have been like a huge problem for marketplaces like eBay and so on and so forth, right? You have the money coming in on one side, the good coming in on another side, and like that transaction is not atomic, and and you have fraud and things like that. But with digital goods and marketplaces, what we're seeing is people playing with the programmability of having digital dollars on one side, digital good on the other side, and that's an atomic transaction, and you eliminate fraud, you eliminate a lot of very interesting things. But this is just the start, honestly. It's the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, it seems like we're certainly seeing more and more companies that are really using this in payments and settlement, in consumer facing, business facing, international facing, all these different things. We're obviously seeing this growth in DeFi. I suspect we'll see, as the usability and scalability, continues to mature, we'll see far, far broader commerce applications. I mean, we're obviously, we're seeing some really interesting large companies starting to experiment here.